Hi, welcome back. This is week 9, and I have a couple of administrative announcements before we get started with the material here. First of all, don't forget the ICT portfolios are due on the 16th. That's Monday, and this is Friday that I'm doing this, and I hope you'll take a look. The only one up there right now is one by Melissa, which is absolutely great. Lots of color, lots of really interesting material, well organized, and very, very informative. It's a learning module for sure. Formal posts. There's, in case you didn't notice the change in the cycle, the formal posts for the first half of the alphabet, formal post number 4 is due to be up there by the 16th, 7:30 on the 16th, and that's just a change in the cycle, but it's up there on our website as an assignment. And finally, don't forget we have face-to-face. It'd be great to see one another again at 9 a.m. on the 21st. That's this coming Friday. Look forward to seeing you all then. Okay, here's the lesson: Digital Divide, State and Local ICT Statistics. And these are the learning objectives and the topics that we'll be discussing. I think you'll find these a little bit different from what we've looked at, and also I hope useful. We'll look quickly at the State New Economy Index. It's something that you don't see very often, but it's a way of ranking all the states, and I think you'll be very impressed, as I have been, at how the states that we are in, the state we're in, and also other states that are contiguous, how well they do on this particular overall index from 2014. Put out by the Internet Technology Innovation Foundation. Then the Digital Divide article, I'm just going to give you a quick example from there. And the Nepal Wireless is just a reminder. I'll talk about it in class sometime, either this Saturday or possibly the last class we have in early May. But that is an example of a situation where you couldn't imagine a more difficult place to set up really high capacity and high quality internet connectivity, but that's exactly what was done, and my center was very active in setting that up, and it's still working better than any of us ever thought it would. It's just as good as you're able to communicate just as quickly and as easily with some people in the mountains of Nepal with this setup as with anybody else you know. And the article by Brad DeLong, he's a professor at UC Berkeley. Very interesting. It brings up this question of whether the internet is a good thing or a bad thing. He makes the point that it probably helps inequality, not equality, but it helps inequality. So I'm hoping that you give me that you'll be seeing a lot of different aspects of this subject as we go through it. Okay, now the listing from the index of the factors that constitute this index: knowledge, jobs, globalization, economic dynamism, the digital economy, and innovation capacity. And here is a map showing the states that are most successful in this index. Massachusetts, Delaware, California, Washington, and Maryland are the top ones. Virginia's right up there too in the overall score. And finally, in the section called Information Technology Jobs, the top 5 are Virginia, Washington State, Delaware, Massachusetts, and Maryland. Very, very interesting that cluster, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia are so close together. And those are the top information technology jobs. And that's a really interesting issue, and it's one of the many things I think you'll find useful in this particular study. Now, getting back to the assignment, here's one called Nepal Wireless. And in it you'll find examples of some of the fairly primitive things that we started with and some of the successes that were able to be attained, and also some of the challenges. It all looks kind of primitive, but when you look at some of the bottom line results, like the number of villages, schools, and clinics that were connected, it turns out to be a lot more than that. So I hope you'll find that interesting and useful. And finally, this article on the digital divide, I hope you'll see that is, it gives you some some themes and some ideas about the ways that it's possible to measure countries that are successful digitally and those that aren't. And all I'm going to show you is this one chart from the article, which is the spider chart that I've shown you once before. This happens to compare Belarus with Saudi Arabia, two completely different kinds of countries. But notice that the pattern, the spider chart, is pretty similar, where the issues, international bandwidth per user, pretty much the same for both of them. But down here, the number of internet users, fixed broadband subscriptions, etc., is very low comparatively speaking. Now, this compares some earlier years, but it gives you an idea of how this spider chart approach works. Hope you find it interesting. The second half of the course, we're in it now, and I hope you're going to be able to get that research paper done. Enjoy doing that. And I've got quite a few hints out there on the course site on how to do it. And I wish you the very best in the course, and I hope it's a good week for you. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. That's it. Goodbye.